Well, I don't think, Brent, that Obama is going to do much other than use the election of Republicans into the House as a ruse, a subterfuge, a pretext, if you will, to blame the Republicans for gridlock, for not getting his agenda through Congress. He now has an escape valve. In many ways, if we were looking to get rid of Obama as president in 2012, it would be better had the Republicans not taken over a majority in the House of Representatives. Again, when you look at the two parties, in all reality, with very few exceptions, Ron Paul and Rand Paul being two of those, a friend of mine, a good friend of mine actually, who I went to high school with, who is now 573 votes up in the 8th District of Illinois by the name of Joe Walsh, who is a Tea Party candidate. If he is sworn in, and I think that he will be when the election is certified in the next 14 days, if you go to walshforcongress.com and read what he stands for, a true constitutional government, if we see these types of people come in, I think that they are going to be exceptions to the rule, but you got to understand that Republicans and Democrats are just different sides of the same coin for the most part. So I think that I don't think a lot of things are going to be changing. I think that when the gun is placed to the head of both houses of Congress, when they are looking to be forced to raise the debt ceiling or shut down the government, I think that for the most part, everybody will get into lockstep, hold their nose, and vote for a raise of the debt ceiling as opposed to shutting down the government. Now that's what should have happened. We should shut the government down. But I don't think we're going to see that happen in all reality. I think that I know that Michael had mentioned the price of food and what is going to be the cause for the increase of price in food. You're going to see that happen. I went to the store just 2 weeks ago and was looking at a 50-pound bag of rice, and I said, I really need to pick that up. The next day, I saw that the price of food was going to go up, and I said, I am going to go back and pick that bag of rice up. And when I went to pick it up, they'd gone from $12.99 a bag to almost $15 a bag in less than 1 week. So that is going to happen. It is happening now. And as Ben Bernanke, who had sworn under oath just last year that the Fed would not be buying government bonds, he's breaking that promise. The Fed is going to monetize this debt. They're going to buy over $650 billion in government bonds. And when they do that, I tell you what, hang on, because inflation and bad inflation is right around the corner.
Now you're a lawyer, so I've got to ask you this, and I want to put you on the spot here, because this drives me absolutely crazy. If I promise you something in order to induce you to do something you otherwise would not have done, or not do something you otherwise would have done, and it turns out what I promised is not true, that's fraud. You can go after me. You can go after me civilly or maybe criminally.
Yeah, it's called fraud in the inducement.
Yeah, why can't we do the same thing? These people stand up in front of cameras. They say, I promise that I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing. Millions of people see it and are influenced by it. They go out, they lie, and nothing happens.
Well, unfortunately, the argument would be that you and I as individuals do not have standing to do so. We have the right to vote the rascals out. If the President of the United States, and most people don't understand this, if the President of the United States, if a bill crosses his desk and it says that you are going to spend this money on this entitlement program and that entitlement program, all he has to do is call the federal comptroller or call the Secretary of Treasury and say, don't issue the checks, okay? He has the right to do that. Now, obviously, if he does do that, just like when Andrew Jackson tried to get rid of the banks, and they started impeachment proceedings against him, and he survived impeachment by one vote, he has the right to do that. However, you put your political career on the line. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take somebody that has the intestinal fortitude and who knows that from a natural law point of view and from a constitutional point of view, that that's what must get done. But you know what? The problem is that I call government a self-licking ice cream cone. Okay? They're there to self-perpetuate themselves. And the problem is politicians are worried about the next election, where statesmen should be worried about the next generation.
Very nicely said. I think that's a quotable tidbit. I'm going to see if I can jot that down on one of the breaks. Dr. Eliezer Ben-Joseph, what is your perspective? You just saw the midterm elections. What do you expect? What do you think from your point of view is going to happen in the House and Senate? Do you agree with everybody? Do you think otherwise?
So far I agree, but there's a couple points that haven't been discussed, and I haven't heard discussed really during the entire election process. And number one is, I think the elections were fraudulent to begin with because of all of the electronic voting. There is no way that any single one of the voters can prove that the way they cast their vote was counted in the way they cast it. And I think that unless that is addressed, we will not have free elections again. Since we've been using these machines, they've been proven to be hacked, and I don't trust any of the election results because of that. The second thing that I think, and I hope, because of the great wave, I guess that we would call, from the Tea Party movement, I hope that the Tea Party movement will be able to persuade those that are in power to stop the outsourcing of jobs. That no matter what the president or the Congress or the Senate does, unless we somehow change and stop the outsourcing of our manufacturing and whatever, we will become strictly a country where we have a lot of hotels and hospitals and a lot of people that work in the service industry. So unless we get our manufacturing based, but it's almost impossible for manufacturing to compete with 25-cent an hour slave labor in Malaysia or in China or in Korea or anywhere else for that matter, where they're making 10 cents, 25 cents an hour. I think the entire next 2 years will be nothing more than a lame duck process. I don't think anything will be done. I think the Republican Party will do everything they can to stop Obama, and Obama will do everything he can to attempt to get his agenda with no help. So I think it will be a total lame duck. I don't think anything will happen, and I don't see anybody in the future on either side. Well, I think Hillary is going to run from the Democratic Party.
Oh, you know she will. You know she will.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.